And so there I was, innocent little me on the actual Creaking Update release date day, celebrating the brand new update, checking out the brand new features, diving into it all, and also missing something huge. You see, how was I supposed to know that this thing, this terrifyingly, creakingly nightmarish being, had released? Lads, laddies, and lovers, as we waddles, and dare I say, the real Creaking Update, the one of our dreams. Well, it's here. Realism Craft, Minecraft's most beautiful, finest, the version of the overworld that we're in love with. Well, it's got a brand new update. Welcome to version 1.5. So here we are, instead of a brand new fresh world for the new update. The seed? Well, the seed, if you're extra cool, you might recognize it. So I figure we kick everything off here today with the blocks, because to me, to you, to Bonzo 2.0, looking a little bit different today, my dude. Blocks, I mean, clearly they're everything. The brand new pale oak wood set family, the most beautiful wood set in the entire game. It's made its way over to Realism Craft. That door, that beautiful door, it's so similar to the vanilla one, but like at the same time, it's like a little bit more gray and old looking. It's so creepy looking. I don't think we've ever checked out the boats in Realism Craft in like any of the episodes, but wow, they are so big and spacious looking inside of this thing. Like, bud, get in the boat, get in the boat. No, get in the... Okay, they're big and spacious. The sign? Well, I mean, what am I supposed to say about it? It's literally a sign with a great message. Second great message about some kind of playlist that'll be on the end card as well on the back, but, I mean, it's a sign. The fences here too, I mean, they've kept everything so in line with the vanilla version of the Creaking Update. Next up, pale moss. I mean, the stuff is just as pale and exactly as mossy as you last remembered it. Specifically, the hanging pale moss right here, this thing looks so much more beautiful. It's something about it. Maybe it's like a little bit more intense than the vanilla game. And of course, the moss carpet, don't sleep on it, don't forget about it. The same moss wall, carpet climbing mechanic, that growth mechanic that's in the vanilla game, it's ported over exactly how it is. And again, it's like the darkness of the stuff, it really stands out here, but it looks so good. Oh my god, I think I've fallen in love. The pale oak sapling right there, it's so much more beautiful in Realism Craft. I'm so sorry, vanilla Minecraft, I love you and I'm a main, but it's so much better looking. You want to grow one of the trees? Oh, don't even get me started about one of the trees. The tree, the real one. This is how this thing should have ended up looking in the update. You have the subtle leaf ambiance drifting down, but whoa, what in the world? You actually have hanging pale leaves, and I mean, the pale leaf block is like even more white. It's beautiful, but that tree, that beautiful tree, from the second I saw this thing, I got lost. Now, those of you may be curious about a single sapling, I could bone meal it all day long, but nothing happens. Still, to grow this tree, it's a big, strong tree. You need a 2x2, and just, oh my god, please, Mojang, please, hear him out, please. This tree is actually kind of almost like a willow or maybe even a wisteria tree. And wait a second, my. Is that an infested pale oak log? What is that? Is that the creaking log? No, because the creaking log is here, and I mean, it's just like normal. It's a creaking log with a little bit of orange on the inside of it, and inside of the biome, which we'll check out in a minute, you'll still be able to find the creaking log generating in some of the trees. Instead, you take a look at this. So, the wood sapling we took a look at, the pale moss, the sapling, but we've got a couple of brand new pale plants you'll be able to find inside of the biome, and an expansion to the pale wood family. This new block right here that you'll be able to find naturally generating. If you want to pick it up, you need to silk touch it. It's called an infested pale oak log. It's basically a pale oak log with like some eyes in it. This one right here is called the pale oak log nest, and it's even worse. It's like two eyes looking at you, and if you look at it very closely there's a little subtle animation with the eyes like popping up and going away. This thing, and it feels alive, and this thing too, I mean, alive in maybe a different sense, but the stuff right here, it's like terrifying looking. And look at how this plant right there called pale tree sprouts, I mean, take a look at how this plant right here, it grows onto the side of the tree. There's some of the other pale plants that we'll be able to take a look at and find inside of the biome. A pale bramble, that's fun to say. Pale rose bush, why didn't we get that, please? A pale lily, pale petals, pale clovers, and a pale fern as well. I mean, look, if you've played a little bit of Realism Craft, even watched just some of the videos, then you know with Realism Craft, it's all about that biome ambiance here, and you know, the life that you can find inside of it. And yes, Chef's Kiss, it's so beautiful and delicate looking. That pale fern specifically, I mean, it almost looks like that aloe that I'm growing in real life. It's so cool looking, and it's gigantic too. Now, this pale ambiance right here, of course, it looks delightful inside of the plains biome, but it doesn't take a fool to remember that, well, there's a but. Alright, so cat's out of the bag. This seed right here is the same seed that I used in the live hardcore 100 days playthrough of the Pale Garden biome. We spawn inside of a mega taiga. It's beautiful, but not our goal for today. And we go ahead and move over eventually to giant Swedish fjord. I love it. And we go ahead and march through the sky down the Swedish fjord, and eventually we will find a dark oak forest biome. It's been beautified and transformed, and then just beyond the dark oak forest biome, we find the real deal, the actual target for today. This place right here, it's brand new. Alright, so not only are we going to approach this place in survival, but we'll approach it from the ground too. Think back to the update, the development cycle. What was like the #1 thing? That one single tiny feature that would have game changed this entire biome. Oh no, we gotta watch out. Was it maybe something directly tied to the ambiance of the biome? Maybe a little change in like how far you could view it? Maybe something that makes it feel a little bit more terrifying and ambiance inside of it? Perhaps maybe as you move in slowly, it gets denser and denser and denser, and oh, what is that? What am I talking about? The fog inside of this biome right here. Look at this thing. As I start to move into the pale garden biome, looking at the sun, it's like weird and paled out. I feel like I'm in like, it's like one of those horror mods, like from the fog or something. It's terrifying. Listen to the ambiance too. Like the wind inside of this thing is so echoey, and from time to time I've heard screams as well. We've got a ton of different plants sitting around in the biome too. A pale of bushes, like an azalea. Oh my god, I love it. But moving around inside of this thing, I hear like whispers from time to time. The pale moss all over the ground and the trees. Even though this biome right here isn't the largest one, like maybe spanning at most 200 blocks from side to side, because of the fog here, it feels like I'm gigantic and maybe just lost inside of this biome for almost ever or something. As I continue to walk around through it, more and more pale oak trees pop up, and it's just, I mean, it's dead silent. It's terrifying. Oh man, the ambiance that is captured here in the Realism Craft version of this biome. Why wasn't this the vanilla one? There's the edge of the biome, and you can see right here as we kind of like back up, like the fog right there, it masks the end of the biome. It really genuinely makes this place feel so much larger. But oh, did you hear that? That's terrifying. But that's the middle of the day. What if we were stranded here in, say, the nighttime? I don't know. I swear I just heard it. Oh, but stranded here in the nighttime. We'll find the horror. Oh, there it is. We find the horror from time to time. Look at this new aesthetic. The creaking right there. Oh, yeah, and the exploding. The exploding and the creaking. Okay, come on, man. Oh, don't. I forgot that you do that. I don't know how I forget it. But when you look away, the fireflies, the ambiance. No. All right, excuse me. It exploded and ruined it. But this thing right here, if I hit it, the exact same mechanic with like the whole resin, you know, thing leading me over to the tree. But this guy right there, the new texture, you are so like, you're in my nightmares. You're terrifying. It's like messed up and looking weird. If I look away from it, look at how it moves too. I mean, it runs really quick, but it also runs. Where is it? Where did it go? I don't know where it went. It's so much more creepy. Look at him moving around. Get away from me. You're gross. Biome right here. It's going to be a little bit more dangerous too, because these trees, they're way taller than they used to be, which means if you want to climb up and say find your creaking heart, well, you're going to actually have to. Oh, it's genuinely so uneasy. Like I messed with it before the video and I'm still getting creeped out, but you're going to have to actually like tower up to get into the tree now. If you want to like climb up here and actually break the creaking heart, like you need to tower up. But we gotta move on. Buddy, you just stay there, please. Let's go ahead and run around through the rest of the biome. At nighttime, the fog, it almost kind of like parts. Oh my god, they're so quick. It almost like parts a little bit so you can see a little bit farther here. And the subtle like firefly ambiance that happens inside of the biome, I love it. The little orange things, they don't like trick me that it's an eye of the creaking, because of course the eye is a little bit larger, but it just adds to the weirdness of this biome, and running around in it, I just definitely feel like I shouldn't be here. Like, look at this thing. I'm drooling all over my mic right here. I'm gonna have to buy a new one after the video. It looks so good. And it's just the sound design too, like the quietness of this biome. I don't know if they like changed the mob spawning here. I'm only finding creepers and creakers, creepers and creakers, of course. Wow, I am so in love. Whoa, we are so back. Now you back up, okay? Inside of this biome, while I fly up into the air, because this biome is all about the fog, you kind of get lost. That could maybe be potentially used for a really cool build where you like build it up in the air, not that far up off of the ground after all, and it seems like you're inside of a void. But moving into a different biome nearby with like, say, less intense fog, so we can just take a look at this thing. From the top, I mean, the trees right there, the white leaves, they look so good. But just you wait, there's more. That's right, the beautiful brand new block that you'll be able to find inside of that biome, the resin block. So first up, the resin clumping. I mean, it's pretty similar to how it's done in the vanilla game. You still have these same old clumps, and those same old clumps, well, just like before, you can place them on anything that you want in the game. The texture, it's a little bit more bubbly. The resin block, the tone of this thing, it's been toned down a whole lot. It's a lot more soft. Same thing with the resin brick and the chiseled resin brick. Love the attention to detail here because the bricks, they all still line up with the other brick blocks in the game, so that's kind of beautiful. Ooh, the chiseled resin brick. It's been simplified a little bit. I mean, you still have the creaking vibe with the eyes and the whole trio of them and everything, but yeah, it's a little bit more streamlined. I mean, look, of course, you saw my videos about the update. I love that intense orange resin brick, but this version of it, the softened one, dare I say that, I mean, this softened version of the block, it might work a little bit better in, like, many builds across your world and blend in a little bit more instead of, like, really standing out like that vanilla resin brick does. And inside of Realism Craft 1.5, I mean, it's an update all about the Pale Garden. That's our main focus here with those gorgeous trees, but it's not the only thing. So in part 4 of what is essentially our Realism Craft mini-series, main series at this point, we took a look at the massive nether update that happened relatively recently. If you haven't seen that part yet, check it out next. Well, inside of V1.5, we have some balancing changes. First things first, the piglin brood, disgusting being. These things spawn all over the nether now. It makes it a little bit more challenging. And by a little bit more challenging, I mean severely more challenging. They were spawning way too much all across the nether, like super common. Well, now rejoice, because the piglin brood is going to spawn a little bit less frequently across the nether. However, also netherite inside of different loot tables, well, that'll be a little bit less common as well. Keep in mind that the piglin brood is still a monster. I love that animation. All in all, this brand new updated Realism Craft, I mean, it's not the largest thing in the world, but wow, everything that is inside of this update is beautiful in so high quality. This version of the creaking right there, that is so much more terrifying than what we ended up getting in the update and what we got in the real vanilla update. I mean, I still think it's pretty disturbing as well. How that thing moves around, I mean, it like kind of wobbles around now through the forest. Wow, that is such a beautiful mob design right there. I think I'm in love. Realism Craft V1.5. I might go as far to say that this is the single best update to Realism Craft so far, and exactly how my imagination might be led to think the Pale Garden biome, it should have and could have been. But what do you think? You call it down below. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Next up, if you haven't yet, check out the other Realism Craft parts. There's a playlist on the end card with all of them. It's been me, Waddles. Happy holidays, and keep on creaking until I see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.